Hey, last time I talked about, dignity of every person, and to try to keep that in mind and heart. And there's a saying, some kind of saying. I think it's like a Chinese proverb or something. It says, if you want to know what somebody's like, yeah, how do you treat them when they can do nothing for you? So that's the kind of summary of my last talk. And to develop temperance, and when you don't know what to do, don't do nothing at all, and be content in silence, and and then because as I said before, God does speak loudly within us, and but sometimes you have to go to the silent place to hear. It's a paradox. You got to become silent before you can hear. So it's good practice to silence your mind and heart. Well, I wanted to, again, like I said last time, pendulum swings. So you have that understanding, and now, you got to go to the other side. And you also have to understand, you always got to consider the source. Another person, they might be conduit for the divine, they might have human dignity. I mean, they do. Not might. I'm not saying they might, they do. Okay, and they are. You keep that in mind and heart, like I said. But you always have to consider the source, okay, and the kind of person the other person actually is, and you know what they will do, or whatever like that. I mean, you can kind of understand, like, by a person's title, what they have the authority to do. Like, if you're going before the judge, you better be sure you're showing a lot of respect. Right? And if you're going before your boss, well, you also give proper respect. But that doesn't mean the state of your heart doesn't change. Your heart, it still only knows the other person is another person, because they are another person. You always hold that. You always hold that. No, they're no better than you. I'm no better than them. Okay, but be wise and understand your situation, and consider the source, and consider your adversary, and consider your friend, and consider your mom, consider your dad, consider your brothers, consider your family, consider me, what I'm saying. I'm telling you, I'm your grandfather. And so make all those considerations, and maintain moderation and temperance and sobriety, and, every virtue that a soldier or a warrior, warrioress, or whatever you call it, male, means male and female, whatever kind of person you are at heart. And we all are warriors. We all are wanderers. We all are explorers. We all are marathon runners. We all are long sufferers. We all are subject to adversity. And we have nature and nurture. Right? And life nurtures us and conditions us in certain ways, and as for one, so for the other. Where a person comes from, that's going to kind of make the person, who they are. I mean, that's their, encounter in life. And as we see what we see, we always kind of attract to the familiar. Well, look, man, the spirit sometimes drives us on to explore and get out of the familiar. Yeah. Don't stick with just what's familiar. I mean, you limit yourself. But subconsciously, a lot of times we attract, what's familiar. Like, so if you had a certain kind of dad or mom, well, you might be looking for that kind of person when you're looking for a mate. Sometimes it's unconscious in the way we do it. And, it's like, the biggest thing to figure out is our own self. What motivates us. And like that. And, where do we get our energy from? And, can we expand, get our energy from other places too? Well, if you're an introvert, maybe try to get your energy from being more of an extrovert, put on that clothing or whatever, and psychologically, and try to just expand yourself. If you have a tendency to be judgmental, or if you have a tendency to be judgmental, not as a bad thing, but it's where you get your energy from, Or, anyways, I'm trying to refer to the Myers-Briggs categories, but having a failure of recall as quick as I want it. Anyway, so okay, what I'm saying is, treat other people with dignity, and don't give preference just because of the person's title. Don't let it move you inwardly, but also, be smart about, what they can do to you and stuff like that. I mean, just think if you were tied up and they're threatening to, kill somebody if you didn't talk, and, they're gonna start by cutting off certain parts of your body and make you feel a lot of pain, and then you're gonna know that, well, I ain't gonna play the guitar no more. What if they start taking a hammer to your fingers? Well, you're in that kind of situation, you gotta think real hard about what you're gonna do, what the best course of action would be. That's what my father told me. He wrote me a letter. I don't know where the letter is anymore. It's like I only have a couple letters from him. That was one when I was real young. He told me like 3 things, and I know he included the word course of action. I think those 3 things were ways to develop a course in action, but I can't remember what he said, and I have to try to look for the letter. I hope I can find it, because I always kind of value that, but basically it's a course of action with a little bit more family wisdom, by the way. I'm passing down. In fact, I'm going to try to get that letter, and because I put it in my heart and kept it there. So anyway, that being said, because I'm going to tell you, people can beguile you, they can trick you for their advantage, and you got to be wise of that. Look, I could give a lot of experience. I could tell a lot of stories, but the biggest story of all is, I really don't know how to make sense of it, because I don't know who this guy was that bamboozled me, or beguiled me. I don't know if he was a cop or undercover cop. I don't know. He said his code name was Hillbilly Jim. Well, he said he'd make it look like I escaped, and I had to write out this paper, to him, that I gave him my car for $800 and all the tools in it, or something like that. I didn't give him, or he didn't give me any money. I got out of the car, like I said, and he left. And, I thought he really was setting me up. And that there'd be something in my car, and cops were gonna come and arrest me. And I'd be in jail for a long time for a crime I didn't commit. And I knew I couldn't live that way. And so, when the time came, when the cops rolled in, I pushed a knife in my neck, ripped it out a couple times, tried to kill myself real quick. But since I didn't die real quick, I told them, you got a warrant for my arrest? Have I done anything wrong? I asked them. I didn't, and they said that I admitted that I did something wrong or something. I didn't do nothing wrong. I was bamboozled. Bamboozled. It doesn't matter if the guy was a cop or if he was a criminal. All right. Either case, I was bamboozled. So I was put in a situation where I was going to kill myself because I don't know. Was the right imaginary? I don't know. I still don't know. But you know what? It really don't matter. The operation was the same. The undercover operation against me. Yeah. I don't know who the guy was. Hillbilly Jim. So, look, sometimes, it's in a situation where you don't think there's any way out, man. You think that's it, I'm going to have to just end it. But then I was fortunate. I didn't die. And, I never hit the jugular. How? I don't know. The doctor said I almost pushed a knife through my jaw. Jesus Christ. That's the biggest, story for me is, so I say, try to have a higher perspective if you can, because sometimes, if you can lift yourself up over the wave, you can see that, there is a future out there for you. But sometimes when the waves are smashing down on you, you feel like I might as well just die before I get eaten up or drown or whatever. I mean, I'm just saying, life pushes to our limits, and I don't know. That's why in my poem, I said, hearing the echo, hearing the voice of, hearing the voice penetrate, and you're real deep, and go and suffer some more. When that message hits you hard, like a sword in the chest, a knife in the throat. Go and suffer some more. Well, you see, while you always give other people the proper regard, egalitarian regard, don't be a fool. Be wise. Be wise to the cunning tricks that we encounter in the world in which we live. This is God's testing God's self through us. See, I just wanted to balance, what I said last time with what I'm saying right now. Hope you remind yourself, as I am right now, reminding myself of these important matters. All right, bye.